Hello, Emma. How are you?
Good morning, Jemima. I'm good, thank you. How are you, dear?
Very good. It snowed yesterday. Yay! For
Same.
about 3.5 minutes, but it rested on the car, it settled in the car, so I'm very happy. Love a bit of snow.
Same here. We saw the tiniest snowflakes in the world kind of just like sputter down for about 15 seconds, and that was it.
Yeah. Wow. A little bit of, it's not the snow days of our youth.
No,
3 weeks off. Is it snowy?
completely
Anyway, but
snowed in. School
yeah.
bus couldn't get to me one year because there was a snowdrift in the hamlet, and it was literally as tall as the bus, and the bus. So we just didn't go to school for
Yay!
a week. Yay!
So good fun. Such good fun. Good. Okay. So today we are looking at acceptance.
Mm,
Last week we were looking at apathy and that kind of no, no, no.
yeah.
Really fed up, kind of bored,
Not
teenagery.
fair.
Not there. I have to do everything, all of that. So I thought acceptance would be a really good next step.
Yeah.
And to get to that, we need to resolve conflict. So whenever there's conflict in your mind, in your body, there's that push-pull feeling. I don't know what to do. It can show up in lots of different ways. But when we resolve that conflict, it's usually two sides of the same coin. Both sides want the same thing. We're going to go through that process. And then you have acceptance and you are where you are, and then you can go on from that point.
Nice.
What does that bring up in you? What does that make you think of?
Uh, Excitement actually, because I mean, I train parts work myself, so I understand how potent it is. But when it comes to a personal basis, um, it makes me think about forging ahead in business. So, you know, all of the things that come up when you're trying to up level, and there's a part of you that goes no, and there's a part of you that's like, yay, let's do it. That push me pull you kind of feel.
Absolutely. Yeah, I remember driving to give a talk to promote my book, and it was almost like there's a physical pressure on my body. Part of me just did not want to go at all. I wasn't afraid. It was really strange. It was pure resistance.
Mm.
And I got there and it was great and it was fun. It's on my book and everyone loved it and blah, blah, blah. But it was like all the way there, it was like, I don't want to go. 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 Just really annoying.
Yeah.
But it's important, as always, all our parts are vital. And it's a bit like going through a trauma or a difficult time is like shattering a glass. And that, like, every now and then you find a little bit under the sofa. It's still there.
Yeah.
And that's a part of us that's shattered off, holding some trauma for us out of our conscious mind in the unconscious so that we can carry on and function. So anything that's happened in the past, it's like a frozen moment in time. It's like it's always happened, but it's never happened. It's just part of you is always aware of it. And it can become a driver for anxiety, avoidance, attachment style, all these different things come down to these parts of us that are separate from us.
Mm.
So in this process, we're bringing back all those little shards of glass, bring them back into the whole. And I can never remember the word for it, the Japanese word for mending something after it's been broken with gold.
No, it's not ikigai, is it? It's yeah, I forget now.
Um, but you are more beautiful for your wounds, basically. It's like the healing of it's your story.
Yeah.
Um, and when they mend a bowl with gold, it's like that is the most beautiful part. That's kind of what they're saying.
Mm.
And it's where, that coming home of that part that's lost or separated or afraid or cold.
Yeah.
It is like, that reconnection is wonderful.
Mm. Yeah. And I think especially when you are so used to feeling like that level of resistance, you're so used to just accepting the self-limitations that you put on yourself. I think
Mm.
it's a really nice feeling when you realize that you actually have power over it, that you
Yeah.
can do something, because that learned helplessness that kind of comes with, I just can't make progress, there's just something in me, I can't do it or whatever. It's
Yeah.
really nice to release that or integrate that.
Yeah. And it can be sometimes that what comes to mind is like tantrumy 2-year-old stampy foot. It's like, what do you want? I don't know. I'm just going to scream because that's just emotion. There's no words at that time. So if you have a feeling and you can't really vocalize it or verbalize it, it's probably coming from a 2-year-old or younger version of you that hasn't learnt that communication yet. It's just desperate to be understood. And everyone around them's trying to understand them too. Yeah, like, you know, use your words, don't have any. Like that kind of the frustration of that can show up as resistance. Just somebody notice what I'm feeling.
Yeah.
Even if they are.
And that's a really nice way to put it. So for me, what's coming up is acceptance is noticing your own stuff, right? Witnessing it. And that it feels like a kind of peaceful blanket settling on it where you go, okay, I've made my peace with that. That's okay. We're pulling in the same direction now.
Absolutely. Yeah. This is where I am. This is where I'm going.
Yeah.
Not, I want to go back there, or something needs to be different. And that's another big difficulty, isn't it? It's like feeling, how do you feel, how you want to feel when things aren't the way you aren't the way they are, aren't the way you want them to be.
Yeah.
How do you feel like they are, even when it's like, how do you accept where you are?
I think that is a really humongous question, because if you don't like it and you want to change it, there's that rebellious kind of, well, why should I accept it? Because the inference is, at least in my mind, or it used to be, if I accept it, that means I don't want to change it, or that means it's going to be this way forever, or it means, I'm powerless or whatever. And it just isn't that way, is it?
Absolutely. It's like, I wish the sun was shining, but it's stormy. It's like, well, it's going to be stormy until the storm stops. You can't do anything about it. Do you want to put your best coat on, or are you going to put your raincoat on, or are you going to wait inside? Like, how do you deal with what's happening and feel good?
Yeah.
You can go out in it and be cold, or you can go out and be protected. It's like you can't change the weather. Exactly. Go with it or deal with it. And that's our thoughts, our moods are like weather, aren't they? Clouds that go across. You can just notice them, accept them for what they are. They will change. And I personally love a bit of rain. I was just saying, snow is beautiful.
I cannot wait for the snow, gotta say. As you can see, if you're watching this on YouTube, I am all fluffed up in my winter fleece today because I'm in the Sheppey hut and it's like
got
2
my
degrees
new
outside.
dressing gown down here.
Delightful.
Keeping me warm. It's so cozy. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Bring on the cold so I can wear my dressing gown. Anyway, moving on. Professional. So, as always, you can share as much or as little as you want to. But let's find a conflict in you. So we're what's an issue you'd like to just release and clear? You mentioned forging ahead in your business.
Yes. Yeah, I've got one.
Okay, great. Good. What does it feel like in your body when you think of this thing?
Ooh. It feels like the washing machine up the back of the stomach wall again. Like
Okay.
Churning. Cold.
Yeah. Okay. So with parts integration, we bring the parts out of the body, out of the mind, and we invite them to stand on our hands. So this is, if you're listening, you just got to go with this. The unconscious, the subconscious, unconscious mind works with patterns, rituals, colors. It's very childlike. It's very simple in a lot of ways. And it loves process, and it loves movement and action, like doing things and describing things in a different way. So this is the energy work, isn't it, basically?
Yeah.
So if you can hold both your hands out in front of you, you're going to have, which first, the left or right hand is going to be the sort of negative washing machine feeling. So your left hand, is that right?
No, actually, sorry, it's the right.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Good. So just focus on this part on the right hand. What does it look, sound, or feel like? You bring it out of your body and onto your hand.
It looks like a little grey goblin made of stone.
Ah, stone goblin. Good. What else do you notice? How does it feel? What is it saying?
It's heavy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's taunting me.
Oh, it's a naughty goblin.
Very naughty goblin.
Okay. Good. So closing your eyes, and now I'll invite you to bring out the opposite part onto your left hand. So this part is confident. Everything's working out, forging ahead, no problems. What does this part look, sound, or feel like?
she looks like, is it Arwen, the character out of Lord of the Rings, that the fairy woman with the necklace? Liv Tyler's character, can't remember.
Oh yeah.
It looks like her.
Okay, so she's an elf, I think.
Hmm.
Good. And what does she have any words?
Yeah.
Good.
Do you need to hear them?
Whatever we'll come through that as we're going through, but you can just notice what that is.
Mhm.
How does it feel to focus on her?
Warmer,
Good.
calmer.
Okay. So what we're going to be doing is identifying and asking each part questions, what it wants for you, what its purpose is. So I'll just ask you questions, just the first thing that comes to mind, and it might be I am something, it might be more detailed, so whatever comes up.
Yeah.
And you're going to allow your hands to come together. If they may or may not do that. It's different for different people.
Okay.
Good. So
I have got
you
my
need to be
hands up. It's
comfortable.
just
Yeah. You be comfortable. You can tell me, yeah, great. Okay, good. So bring your attention back to the goblin.
Mhm.
Good. What is its purpose? What's this goblin here for?
Interesting. To keep me small
Because.
because it's jealous of my size.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Okay. And what's the purpose of jealous of my size?
I don't really understand this, but it's saying keeping you within your means, with your status kind of thing.
Interesting. And how does that feel?
Restricted, like a really tight belt.
Uh-huh. And what's the positive intention of restriction?
Expansion.
How does that feel?
Very strange. Like I just kind of blew up like who's the girl in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory who
Oh yeah.
chewing gum just
Violet.
yeah.
Violet, you're turning violet, Violet. That one.
Yeah. One.
Original Willy Wonka. Does that feel good?
Yeah, because it's not like my body's expanding and I feel big and fat. It's more the energy around me is expanding and my energy field is expanding out.
Good. And what's the purpose of expansion, expanding your energy?
To reach people who need me or need what I can help them with.
Good. And how does that feel?
Tingly and sparkly.
Good.
Exciting.
Good. And the purpose of excitement, exciting.
It's magnetic, isn't it? It draws you towards it.
Is there anything else this part wants for you, this goblin part?
Be careful, I'm hearing.
Because?
Get hurt.
What's the positive intention of don't get hurt?
To be safe, I guess.
And how does it feel to be safe?
Yeah, good.
And what does it lead to?
I'm hearing authentic success. So being yourself kind of thing.
And how does that feel?
Yeah, it feels good.
Good. Is there anything else this part wants for you?
It's gone quiet now.
And how's that jealousy and the taunting?
It's just sat on a rock, just looking at me, like with his head on its chin, just like head on one side, I guess curious as to what I'm going to do next.
Good. And I wonder if there's anything you would like to suggest to the goblin, or if that feels appropriate, and maybe the goblin can come along too.
The phrase "watch and learn." Whatever that means.
You or him?
Him. I saw a little mini video clip of me kind of saying, right, well, jump on my shoulder, come along for the ride, and just watch and learn what it feels like to not be so contracted.
Nice. Good. And he's listening.
Mhm.
Wonderful. Good. So just thank the goblin. And then when you're ready, bring your attention to your right hand, to the elf. Tyler.
Mhm.
What does this part want for you?
This sounds so weird, but I'm just going with it. She wants me to lift up into the cosmos, basically, and shower the healing down. That's what
Amazing.
she's saying.
And how does that feel?
Oh yeah, like who am I to do that?
Okay.
Mm.
So what's that emotion?
I mean, the root of everything is fear, right? So it's probably fear of being called out. Who do you think you are? Kind of
Mm.
thing.
What's the positive intention of that thought?
Confidence.
Nice. And what does that lead to?
Putting myself out there more.
How does that feel?
Red.
Red?
Mm.
Colour?
Like a nice red, like a real sparkly kind of passion. Go
Good.
for it kind of red.
Nice. And what does that lead to?
Taking action and not within the current parameters, because it's not like I don't already do loads of stuff and take loads of action, but it's just okay. So it's about aligning with the people who are going to set things on fire, is what I'm hearing.
How does that feel to align with those people?
Good.
Good. Good. Is there anything else this part wants for you?
To heal the heart.
For what purpose?
So the shackles drop, the box of containment that has limited actions in it is no longer there.
Good. And how does that feel?
Expansive again.
Amazing. Good. Good. And that's what we're looking for, is that the same thing? Both parts want expansion.
Yeah.
That's where they connect with each other, which is what you're doing when you're growing your business.
Excuse me. Mm-hmm.
Good. So just check in again with the right hand in that part. Something else she wants you to know?
It's already done, she's saying.
How does that feel?
Yeah, it feels like you can kind of sit up straighter and just know that you're on the right path.
Good. Good. And check with the left hand with the goblin. What's he doing? Yeah.
Fishing.
Out for lunch, gone fishing.
Well, fish means abundance, doesn't it? Symbolism wise.
Nice. Good. So again, just check with both those parts if there's any other information for you or learning or intention.
No, I think so.
And just allow your hands to come together. And allow those two parts to integrate. They may embrace, they might connect. And they can both learn from each other. What's happening there?
They're skipping off into the sunset, doing the jumping and sidekick like Ronnie's.
Fantastic.
So bizarre what comes up.
It really is. So bring your hands together, and then I'd like you to bring your hands slowly up to your heart and integrate those parts back into the whole. You might feel a wave of energy come through you, through every cell. that red sparkly passion, expansion. Maybe you can feel the growth around you. You can send that back up and down through your timeline, through all of time and space, back into your past, forward into your future. So every moment of your life is touched with this expansion, this knowledge, this knowing that's already done. You're just rocking up for the ride. Feel that excitement, that tingly energy, sprinkling all of that healing over the cosmos. Take your time, soak it up, enjoy every second, and let me know when that feels complete. Good. And very gently, when you're ready, bring your awareness back to the present day, gently opening your eyes in your own time.
Oh, can't stop yawning.
Yeah.
Me.
Good,
Yeah,
good.
For those of you
Amazing.
watching on YouTube, I apologize for any expressions I may have been pulling during.
No, you had a good bit of yawning. No,
Okay.
perfect. Yeah, good. How are you feeling?
I feel like I've got a ready break glow around me.
You
For
look
ready.
like your eyes look brighter.
Mm.
You look kind of shinier.
Yeah, I feel like I've had a couple of hours sleep.
Amazing. And that is the beauty of all the stuff that we do, all the work that we do. That took, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes.
Mm. Yeah.
And I'm feeling the joy in my tummy. And that's the thing. I think we've mentioned this before, but borrowing benefits, that's one of the reasons we do the podcast, is that anyone listening will get a benefit from it, whether you do the process or not, just hearing it.
Yeah.
Your unconscious mind listens to everything and doesn't know the difference between you or me. Your unconscious thinks everything is it.
Yeah.
So when you watch a process, listen to a process, watch a film, listen to a film, you are, part of your mind is just using that for itself. We have mirror receptors that basically find what's happening in there, and we find it in ourselves.
Yeah.
So hopefully everyone listening is feeling a little bit more expanded, a little bit more sparkly, a bit more passionate, and a little bit less goblin-y.
Yeah, absolutely.
No disrespect to the goblin. We all need a goblin.
Mm.
Isn't that interesting how the mind describes the energy?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny because years ago, well, for one, and I don't know whether this is the reason, but the Daily Tap this morning was using the Celtic Spirit Oracle. Years and years ago, I was told that that my work, part of my work, was with the Fae. So fairies, elves, goblins, all the rest of it. And yeah, they do come up quite a lot. And it's interesting that that's the theme today.
Good. And he was made of stone, heavy, having a go. And she, Elf, that character, she's just pure love, isn't she? And innocence and lightness. And the elves are all, don't know what they represent, kind of purity, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's the thing. It felt like it was it felt like it was reiterating that my intentions are pure. And so when the intentions are pure, like the fear of being arrogant and above your station and all of that stuff can kind of just disappear. And it's not like I'm not a seasoned business owner. Like I've been doing this over 10 years, right?
Yeah.
Well, actually, it's more like 16 or 17 from when I first trained in coaching, but every so often you do need to have this revisiting, this level setting. So even if you think that you are on track or where you want to be or whatever, I would still encourage you to do this because it's really good to just sit with it and see what comes up anyway.
Yeah. And as always, it's if you're doing it on your own, it's helpful to write it down and keep coming back to what's the purpose. Ask the question, what is the purpose? And as I said right at the beginning, you might just have one word, which could be expansion, then life, light, energy. So if you want to know what the problem is, then you want to go down, you go, what's the problem is the question to ask. You'll get more and more and more detailed. What is the problem? What is the problem? If you want to know the answer, you go, what is the solution? What is the purpose? You'll become more and more kind of broad and floating above the problems, and they look tiny because they are, So it's like, which direction? If you want to really get down into nitty gritty of why something's happening, ask the question, why? What is the problem? And if you want to just come out of it, go, what is the purpose? It's a nice sort of easy
Mm.
way up or way down.
Mm. And it's funny because I don't think, I mean, when I started doing it that way, I think a lot of the time our healing is constrained by our conscious mind because I wasn't able to answer those questions initially. Like I didn't know what the opposite intention of jealousy was. And it takes you a minute to
Yeah.
go, but the point with it is don't overthink it, right?
Yeah.
Because when you overthink it, you get into analyzing, and that's
Yeah. You can't get it wrong. There is no right or wrong. It's just information. It's a process, and it's step by step by step. And once you get to a point, and when you find the both parts, if you find a word that both parts describe, so expansion, that's when you know, okay, that's the part that they can connect on. Because we're always authentic love, trying to connect with authentic love, and then we have all our psychology, all our story gets in the way. So when you can find that connecting part, resolution happens, connecting, all the problems fall away. You're working exactly as you said, pulling in the same direction.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, I like that. I worked in a similar way with what do I call it now? In kinesiology. So a hand on one leg, a hand on the other leg, and like feeling the worst feeling, feeling the good feeling, and then putting those hands together and doing it at the same time. And that's from a feeling state point of view. That's another way we can do it. We might bring that into another podcast somehow, but
Yeah,
I think it is really good to look at the opposing feelings that you've got, because somewhere in the middle there, like you say, there will always be a common ground.
absolutely. It's two sides of the same coin. They've just got very different ways of doing it because they've been so separated by a previous trauma. So what do you end up with? Two parts. It's like, what is the problem? What does it feel like? Bring one half on one hand, the opposite on the other hand.
Yeah.
Boom. So easy.
It really is. And I think that's the thing. Like a lot of the time, I've come away from learning new stuff going, it can't be that easy. Yeah, it can. It absolutely can. And I think a lot of the I'm not actually, no, I'm not going to go down that road because I don't want to offend or put, like be disingenuous to other therapies. It's just that these energy therapies are so simple and so powerful that it kind of makes you rethink, do you have to go through 10 years of therapy to get there? Sometimes to unravel it in your mind.
Sometimes you do. Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with any of it. We're all there on a different path, but that's certainly my journey. I did 12 years of therapy and then I discovered energy techniques and my life changed overnight.
Yeah.
Literally within 6 months, my confidence was through the roof. My anxiety had basically gone, and I'd been ruled by anxiety up to that point. And it was like always like, how do I change how I feel? And therapy was like, well, let's just talk about how you feel. Let's talk about how you feel and why you feel like that. And I was like, I can know that back to front.
Yeah.
I want something different. And this is the stuff that works, that changes. And you've got to do it. You've got to do the work. You can't just do it once and then it's done. Like there are different aspects that come up. Well, I mean, you can, but when you're constantly growing and expanding, but it's so, you just check in, how do I feel? How do I want to feel? That's as basic as it can be. And we're just demonstrating all the hundreds of techniques and tools that are out there to do those things, to make that change.
Absolutely. I love this stuff.
So on that note,
Yeah.
thank you very much. Boom, boom.
Boom. And we'll see you next time.
Mic drop and all that. Yeah, fab.
Yeah, don't forget to let us know how you get on.
Yeah.
Wherever you consume the poddy, or you can reach out to us on social. And if you need any other help, then reach out to either one of us that resonates, or both. It's entirely up to you.
Yeah. And tell us what conflicts you're resolving.
Yeah, we'd love to know.
Yeah. Fab. All right. Nice one. See you next time.
See you next time.
Thank you. Bye.